Okay, as we wrap up our presenters, hailing all the way from Los Angeles, California, we have Mr. Hull Davidson, currently the Senior Director of Global Learning at Discovery Education. After years of teaching, Hull has been an educational innovator during the most important waves of change, giving talks, creating math and technology integration programs, and cooperating with industry groups and education ministries. Across 4 decades of work with education, he identifies right now as the most transformative and important time for teaching and learning. Welcome, Mr. Davidson.
Thank you very much. It is an honor to be here. I'm also sorry that I can't be there in person. Maybe next year, that would be a great thing. Let me see if I can share my screen. Let me do this. Yes, it should work. Okay, are you seeing my screen?
Yes, we are.
Good. It's the closing session. This is a slide that was actually designed by an artificial intelligence. I'm going to post where all the links are in the chat. This is a Google Doc. We are going to go fast, and we're going to show a lot of things. And I want to make sure everybody gets it. I'll be sharing these links a lot. And if somebody wants to repost this link, often that would be terrific. I'm going to get started. I can still see the chat. And hopefully there'll be time for questions at the end. Let me say, first of all, this is a summary of the presentation that we did at a large conference like this one in the United States, in Orlando, the Future of Educational Technology Conference. And you can see me in the stage up in the little corner right up there in the corner, that's me. And we do a thing called Tech Share through the people and I, and essentially it's sharing technology that's useful in education, but also very fun. So these are things, you may not be able to use all of them. Hopefully you'll be able to use some of them. And if you have any questions, you can ask me at the end. And all the links to all these devices are in that link that I pasted. Okay, so, and there's me, like holding up laser thumbs, which are a lot of fun. If you know that trick, it's a wonderful thing. Before I really get started, though, I do want to say this. I want to make you aware of an international film festival. Well, it's really a media festival. It could be good for 3D printing or VR, whatever you want. We have been doing this for 56 years. I've been doing it for maybe 30 of those years. But the first year we got funding for an international category. So you can enter, it's very open. Your students can enter. There's no cost for this. And if you win, the prizes last year were about 750 American dollars. Which is a lot of luck, and this is by invitation only because we only have a certain number of judges. So if you want to participate, if your school wants to participate and send us a student project, doesn't have to be in English, doesn't have to be on video. It's easier to judge if it is, but there's the email address at the bottom. And again, this whole presentation is online, you'll see it, but we hope to get international participation from Albania. We have some from Australia and from Hong Kong already. This is the very first year that we've been able to offer cash for an international prize. Again, there's no cost. You enter online, submit your video on YouTube. If it's a video, and we're ready to go. Anyway, I wanted to make sure you saw that. All right, get back to my slides. Here we are. First thing I wanted to show you is this. It's just a giant laser. Some teachers use laser pointers in the classroom. This is a huge one. They actually make these. It's fun. So I can't show it in person because I'm not there. So I thought I'd show you this. Yesterday, I went up to the Hollywood sign. I do live in Hollywood. I live in Los Angeles, California. This is the Hollywood sign. And you can see that there's lots of hillsides and things like that around here. And this is a video that I made, and I hope you can see this. That's the Hollywood sign. And this is me. And this is the very large laser pointer, as you can see, right like this. So I can actually hit the Hollywood sign with this laser from there, but you can't see it because it's daytime. So instead, I'm going to see the red dot there. I'm going to follow that across these hills and look at these hills that are more in the shade, and you can see how far this thing can actually go. So this is, you can use it at night to point at stars. It's wonderful for that. I don't know what else you would use it for, except maybe science experiments, but they're just fun to see and share. And a lot of people like that. So that's the first thing I'm sharing is the gigantic and somewhat dangerous laser pointer. Okay, we don't need to see that again. Now let's talk a little bit about virtual reality, augmented reality. Virtual reality is when you're actually in another space. Augmented reality is when it appears in your space in real time. These have begun to really combine. And I think it's interesting that now with what Facebook has done, other things are doing, we've now got a thing that we can call immersive learning. And this is a combination of AR and VR. You're going to be seeing this a lot. I'm so excited about immersive learning, about putting students in different places and bringing reality into their space on a mobile phone, that I actually bought a font. See the immersive learning, see that font? I actually paid for a font. It's called Black Past. So if you want that font, it's in the handout. I think it's cool. That look, it's a very science fiction-y, that font, Black Past it is called. Anyway, let's bring immersive learning here. If you're looking at a screen and you have a mobile phone, shine it at that QR code. Get that with your phone, and you'll be able to do something. And I will show you this on my own phone, but this is a lot of fun. So Google has begun. It doesn't work on every phone. It works on Androids, works on iPhones. It should work on most of your phones, but if it doesn't work on everyone's, I'm sorry. But try it later with a friend that has it. Here's the way it works. You're going to, that link will take you to Google, or in Google, you can just search for Bengal cat. Then you scroll down and you can see it on the left there where it says view in 3D. And if you do this and you click on view in my space, you'll see it. And here's an example of how that works. There's the QR code again, that'll take you there. This is me looking at the slide in my phone. You're looking at my phone here. And you see that there's the Bengal cat. And if I scroll down, if we view in 3D, I click on that button. It says there's the cat, and I view in my space, which means I circle around on the floor, and then sure enough, and this will happen for you, there's a cat. Now that's pretty fun. There's a lot of animals, meowing. There's a lot of animals you can do this with. I know Mustafa, and I played with this yesterday, so I know it does work where you are. So there's a cat, and the cat will wander around. This could be a lot of different kinds of animals. If you want students to see animals they might not see. And here's my dog coming in. It's a real dog, and the real dog is having trouble with the cat's meows. The dog cannot see the cat because the cat is a virtual cat. So that's kind of what immersive learning can be. So if you were around, if you're in person, and you're seeing lots of cats, this is also fun. This is a retail store, and they let you put furniture in your space also. So I put a rocking chair, not by the virtual cat, but by my dog. So if you've ever seen a cat and a rocking chair and see what happens to the tails, it can be dangerous. Anyway, hopefully you are trying this. I can't see the, oh, there's the chat. Hopefully, yes, you can find bears in there and giraffes. So again, the QR code is there. Try it, take a picture of it. Also, the links for this are online. You just use Google and you are fine. Okay, let's go on to the next thing. Yeah, meow, Bengal cat. You can also do many animals. The question in the chat was, can you do one? Here's a link, again, a QR code, and all these QR codes are listed in the handout on the link that I pasted. Maybe I'll paste that again in the chat. But you can find a lot of other animals too. This is someone who did a good job of lining up a lot of those other animals from December. Another thing that I'm showing you, the Discovery Education, for whom I work, Discovery Education. We are in Sweden and Egypt and many other countries. It's a lot of fun. We have developed this. It's developed in London, and excuse me, in England. This is an app that you put on your phone, and I'll show you how it works. This is free. You can get a palette of resources. In this case, I'm making a fort from the American frontier. You could think of it as Roman. When you build one, it then gives you a QR code, so anyone else with the app can look at the QR code and they can see it too. Here's what else is great. you can do this. I'm going to go back. Let me see if I can go back on this one. Yeah, when you create something, you can put it in a space, and this would have to be probably outdoors, but you take that QR code, you look at it in your space, and you hit real size, actual size, and then that thing appears. So this is not a real building. This is a virtual building, but you can see people walking around inside. That's the illusion of the space, but you can also put in then columns, Roman columns, trees, statues. This could all be in the schoolyard. It could be in a large room. And then, you walk through the virtual space. You're actually walking with your device, and you then reappear, and there's reality. In this case, reality with the tree. One of the other cool things about this is when you do real size, this is an element of a plesiosaur, which is a marine dinosaur. And if you do that in real space, and here, let's take a look at this. There it is, small. We dragged it there. And if you click on it, then it goes, you see people walking around. It goes into real size, and you'll see the plesiosaur up above you. And as we walk, we can see what it really looks like. So people can see these animals in the actual size, as well as seeing forts and buildings in actual size. So the link to this is there. It is free. I do have to apologize that this is brand new. And right now it's only available on iPads. So not iPhones, not Android devices, not yet, but we are piloting this in England right now. Those versions will be coming out. So I wanted to show you this, even though it's a little early, because it only works on one device, but it will work on all devices, and it's a lot of fun. Here's the QR code to the App Store. If you have access to an iPad, you can do this right now. If you don't, you just have to wait till the version comes out for your device, but it will be coming out for every platform. So just be patient. I wanted to show it to you though, and I hope you like seeing it because I think it'll be very exciting. Another thing you can do for VR, this is what we've done with some schools. This is also free. It's called artsteps.com. Again, the link is in the background. And essentially what you do is you're able to build a museum. They give you the structure of a museum. You're able to build a museum that you put your student artwork on. So, or projects, this whole project. So let's take a look at this. This is a middle school, that's 7th and 8th grade here. And because of the pandemic, they couldn't have an open house. So instead, they put all of their projects in this virtual space. Look at that again. They did all of their projects in this virtual space. So you can walk around. You don't need a headset. You can do this on a computer, any computer. You can walk around, click on the subject, and you see exactly how it works. So that's fun. This is one that I built. We were doing a teacher training. So I put the pictures of all the teachers on the wall, and then also dragged in a 3D bust of myself. That was what the bust was there that you can see. So here we go. Again, this is, see, I did a modeling of my face, and I made myself a statue in the museum. So again, this was a 7th grade. These would probably be 13-year-olds in Escondido, California. So a lot of fun for that. This was a conference I attended. This was in a headset, but I just wanted to show you that when you have avatars, you can still hug even in a pandemic. So that's how that works. Anyway, that's fun too. This is another thing that's I hope you'll enjoy. There is a thing when people are now afraid of losing their mobile phones, afraid of being without it. That's what it's called, nomophobia. This is a couple you can see that are having an argument because the man lost his phone, and she just wonders, who is this guy? I'm married to him, but what kind of person loses their phone? So the answer to this, and I should show you on my phone, the answer to this is to actually put a QR code on the back of your phone. And here's how it works. You go, because if you lose your phone and you have your card on it, it means they call the number of your phone and they have your phone. So that doesn't work. So here's what you can do. You can go to GoQRMe. It's my favorite QR generating site, GoQRMe. And again, all these links should be on that link that I posted. And then you just type in a phone number. And when you do, as you see, you get a QR code on the right. That's a QR code. This would be the phone number, not of yourself, but of someone you're going to be with. So if you lose their phone, this is their phone number. So You do a scan a QR code, your phone will actually call their phone and they pick it up and you get, oh, this is my phone. If found, please call this. That's not my number. That happens to be my wife's number, but you could call and then somebody finds it and goes, hey, I found your phone. And then everything is good again. Everyone is happy, and QR codes have saved the day and had a happy ending for that couple. Anyway, the QR codes are great. You can do a lot of things with QR codes that you may not think of. So go to GoQArmy. It's a free site. It's fun. Those pictures of that couple were from Pexels. That's also a free site, pexels.com. Alex Green is the person that made those pictures and I used them. Thank you, Alex, for that. All right, the next thing I want to show you for technology that's I think is very fun is the range that technology can take your eyes. So a student may say, what can technology let me see? Let me show you this. You may know about this, you may not. The International Space Station is live and they have a URL, and on your phone or on your computer, and there's the QR code, you'll go up and you'll be able to see the International Space Station live. Now that's pretty exciting. Now, if the space station is on the dark side of the Earth, they have no pictures because there's no light. So sometimes it's dark, but half the time you'll be able to see the space station. And sometimes they give you views from the inside. So you see the cosmonauts and astronauts working around together, but you can actually go above the Earth on your computer or your phone in real time. I think that's just very exciting. The other thing you can do, that's a telescope. You can also make your phone a microscope. So these are the ways we used to do it last year. You had these little devices that are inexpensive and you clip them to your phones. They're used for currency detection and other things. But now there's an easier way to do it. You can do it with these free apps. So these are the two free apps that you can see. It's Supervision for the Apple platform. It's a magnifier and microscope called Cozy. Don't know why it's called that. For the Android, again, they're both free. I'll give you the QR codes for those in a minute. But here's how well it works. So this is a LEC. I'm sure he's familiar with this. But if you have one of those free apps, which you see, this is I have a LEC, and I can actually zoom in and look how close I can go. Look how close I can go just with that free piece of software. And I'm actually going very close, but it's hard to keep your hand steady when you're magnified that much. So that's the things you can learn from your own currency. There may be some hidden things that students don't know. So I've done a little quiz for this. Here's the question. The woman on the front of the LEC, what does her friend there have in his pocket? Does anybody know? Put it in the chat. Anybody know what he has in his pocket? This is the one LEC piece. Anybody know? Details, yes, very cool. Details, anybody know? I don't see any answers in the chat. What does he have in his pocket? His hand? No, no, nothing, no. The answer is he has, let me go here to leave the chat and go back to the PowerPoint. He has a, I'm getting ahead. He has a wrench in his pocket. Can you see that? Wait a minute, let me get to it. Yeah, there's a wrench. He has a wrench in his pocket. So that's the detail you can see on these free programs. It's pretty cool. Here's another question for you. And I didn't see any correct answers there. He would ask, how many bridges do you see below the Rasafa Castle? And I may be mispronouncing that, but how many bridges are there? Hard to see with the naked eye. What do you think? 2, let's zoom in and see. The answer would be, not the wrench, Mr. Davidson, would be 3. It's one bridge, but 3 spans. We can get even closer and see the 3 spans that are on the bridge that are underneath the castle on the back of the currency. So that's fun. And it lets you do other things too. If you have a slide, for example, here's again the link to the apps, but this is a slide that usually we use with microscopes in schools, but I can actually zoom in. That's a hydra, which is an animal that lives in water, in pond waters. And usually you have to see a slide, but because of this free program, you can actually see it without. So that it'll be pretty much fun. Another thing, this is a new tool, another free tool. When I wanted to show you the picture of the LEC, which I got on eBay, the LEC, I had a background and I wanted to get rid of it. So I went to this site remove BG, and you see the resource there. And those links should be in the on the page that I put. If somebody can repost that link, that's great. But it lets you actually remove the background. You can also remove video background with this app too. It's web-based, so you upload your picture, take out the background, and suddenly you can put yourself everywhere. Any place you can find a picture, you can put a student, or you can put yourself, and or put the whole class by removing the background and then putting it in a new picture. And so that's also, it's a lot of fun. One thing that's very important I wanted to get to, these are free tools for artificial intelligence. I could ask in the chat how important you think artificial intelligence is to our students' lives. It is massive. It will affect everything: transportation, security, weapons, our credit cards, our automobiles. All of these have now elements of artificial intelligence. Students are not exposed to this in school, and they should be. So here are some ways you can do it. One, a definition, it's usually what a human does, and now it's done by a non-human, by a machine, maybe a robot, maybe a computer. That video that you saw on my opening slide was actually designed by an artificial intelligence, because this is a PowerPoint, and Microsoft has an artificial intelligence that will design your slides for you if you're online when you're doing your PowerPoint. Anyway, here's one, experimentwithgoogle.com. I'm going to show you a couple. Got to show these very quickly. This is one called Blob Opera, and it's where you can actually, they sampled for 16 hours real opera singers and used machine learning and artificial intelligence to program them, which means that you can take the blobs and give them sound. Let's see if we can hear this. Drag up, this is free. You drag up to get a pitch. You drive forward to get the vowels, the O's, A's, E's. Anyway, and the AI will do the harmonies for you. So Blob Opera, it's a lot of fun. One of the things you can do is take them places. So I took them to Paris and let them do the composition of the of Carmen. So here's Carmen, just for a second. We're running out of time, but anyway, you get the idea. So students can compose, and the Blob Opera will sing what they compose, or they can do a song that pre-exists. Another thing, Amazon, which controls Alexa, has a lot of devices that it does. You can also do this on your phone, but you can control what Alexa says. A student can build information that goes into Alexa, and you do into Alexa, or whatever you want to call that device. It's at a site called blueprints.amazon.com. Amazon does this. And there are lots of different ways that you can do this, but you will say and build the information. It could be a game, it could be a quiz, listening quizzes, university lectures. A lot of things can be posted in here. Again, you control what it says. If you send this is called a skill, if you send it to another person, they will hear your information. When students do that, will the information always be correct? No. And that means they get to hear an artificial intelligence be wrong. So essentially you click on these are templates, which means that you just highlight over what they say, type in whatever you want, and you've got it. Now, so far, I think that this is only in English, maybe also in German, French, and Italian, and Spanish. I'm not sure. I've always done this in English. It is not in Albanian, I checked, but that's probably coming. Anyway, go there and look at it. Here's a person in a teacher workshop, and she created this skill. So look what she says to her phone. This is at the conference where I was in January.
Hi, my name is Charlotte. I'm a media specialist in Palm Beach County. Alexa.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Alexa, open my questions.
I can answer any question from your My Questions list. What's your question?
Who has the best presentation at FETC?
I'm glad you asked, Charlotte. Hal Davidson always has the best presentations at FEEC no matter what year it is.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, so you can put it
Hi, my
whatever
name-
you want. So it's a good thing anyway. If that is blueprints.amazon.com, that link is there. It's very fun. Yes, I think I agree with you. It's interesting. So the last thing I want to leave you with is just, again, it's just for fun, but it shows you how technology can change things. In English, we call these retronyms. I'm sure there's a term for it in Albanian, there is in Spanish and others. I was also, like our previous teacher, a bilingual teacher. Spanish is my second language. But these are names of something that doesn't change, but the name has to change because of technology. So the thing doesn't change, but the name has to change because of technology. Here's a good example. This was a movie. People that went to these movies went to movies until talking movies came out. And then you had to call this a silent movie. So now this is a silent movie. It didn't change, but its name had to change. This is a watch. And if I say, oh, I bought a watch, it's not enough to say a watch. You now have to call it an analog watch because it's not digital. It didn't change, but its name had to change. This is a typewriter. You say, hey, and many of us have these still. Once a typewriter, which was around for years, came out, then the electric typewriter came out. So this became a manual typewriter. The machine did not change, but the name changed because of the technology. This is coffee. Existed the same since 1671 when it was discovered by an Ethiopian shepherd, coffee beans. But then as soon as the Swiss decided they knew how to do decaf, we had to call this regular coffee. So when you ask for coffee in a restaurant, they say, oh, would you like regular coffee? Of course it's regular. It changed because technology changed. And a record, when I was young, we bought a lot of records. Now you have to call it a vinyl record because there are lots of different ways to get music now to call it vinyl. Again, these terms in Albanian will be different, obviously, but hopefully you'll see what it is. And I close with this. It used to be when you went to a conference, you called it a conference. I'm going to a conference. I'm going to Education Today conference. Now you have to say, I'm going to a virtual conference. Anyway, thank you very much for coming to this virtual conference. It's been an honor to present to you. Hopefully some of these little technologies will be useful. Some will be fun. I'll paste again the link where everything should be, including a link to all these slides. So that's it. And if there's any questions, I can stick around late. It's still very early in Los Angeles. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Hall, for this great presentation. It was such a fun tour of educational technology, and I'm sure that all our attendees will be trying to use at least some of them in their classrooms, but probably they will be playing with them first themselves, just like me. I played with the 3D Bengal cat yesterday for 30 minutes, and it was really fun. So I think we have time for just one question. We have a question. Someone asked, what is the impact of the immersive learning in education and children and their neuropsychodevelopment? So can you please comment on that? What's its effect?
Yes, and it's a whole presentation. I think the importance is very significant. It is not for every child, just as reading is not for every child. About 20% of, when we say virtual reality, I'm talking about the full experience with headsets. Now, there are experiences like the ones that I showed you where you do not need a headset, but for me, the biggest impact is going to come with the headsets. A headset, maybe 20% of students will get a little nauseous, will get a little upset. That's because their head is moving faster than their brain can process the vision. Turns out these are also sometimes a problem with reading, and that you move too fast and it makes reading hard. So reading is difficult for about 20% of our students. Virtual reality difficult for 20%. But for the rest, for the 80%, the ability to be in a place and have an experience that can change your life is very profound. There are a lot of people whose lives have changed because of an experience they had for maybe 7 minutes. They went to a museum, or they went to a concert, or they went to a sporting event, or they visited a newspaper. I have examples of famous people, all of whom say their life started from a visit, which probably took 7 minutes, which is about all you need in virtual reality, 7 minutes to look around and say, I love these machines, or I love this forest, or I love this music. The experience to be able to go into space, to be able to go into microscopic places, the ability to go into a place where math dominates. These are very profound. So I think the opening of the world to students in this way through their headset is going to be very significant. So immersive reality, whether it's the cats or whether it's visiting inside an engineering or a nuclear plant, which we have too, those are very profound. So that's what I think will be good for students. No matter where you are, if you have an internet connection and a headset, you can be anywhere, real or imaginary. So I think it's very profound.
Yeah, wow. Thank you very much, Paul. So I would really like to have the giant laser. It seems really interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you again. It should be 7 a.m. in Los Angeles right now. So thank you for joining us too early. And with Paul, we came to the end of our conference. I hope you all enjoyed the conference, and we'll leave this Zoom meeting with lots of ideas to reflect on and practical tips for you that you can use in your teaching contexts. As we told in the chat box, the recordings of the sessions will be available on our YouTube channel and on our webpage as well. We also sent you an email with a feedback form for the conference. Please complete the form for us to be able to self-reflect and plan the next conference in the most effective way possible. We also send you the conference post report with all the details and presentations and answers of our speakers and reports of the poll questions as well. And finally, your certificates will also be emailed to the email addresses with which you have registered to the conference. Please contact us for any problems that you may have or any comments on our email address, which is educationtoday.turgutozal.edu.al. So a very warm thank you from all of us here in Tirana to all of you. And we really hope to see you again in the next year's conference. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Mustafa.
Thank you very much, all. Hope to see you in Albania.
I hope so.
Very soon. Thank you.